Hi guys, today I'm making a frog Valentine card and I'm using here the Creator Critter 2 cartridge, and I'm going to use this lily pad on page 35 and also some Dollar Tree stickers, which you briefly saw at the start of the video. I'm also going to use the basic gray fact paper pad, and that's what I'm going to use to cut out my lily pad, as you can see here. So I just took out my Cricut, and I'm trying to guess what size I need for that frog sticker, and I put 3 inches, but it was a little too small for what I wanted, but it ended up working out because I ended up using both of them. But here I went up to 4 inches, and that was a better size for that frog. Except you can see it went a little off the page, but that was also alright because I used it on the edge of the card, which you'll see later on in the video. So here I just have a scrap of paper, and I'm trying to see if this paper will work before I just cut it, and it looks like it will. So I'm positioning the sticker to see if the size of this scrap would work for the card, and it does. And so I'm just going to cut off that extra piece there with my paper trimmer. And this measures 6 inches by 5 inches. Now I'm getting my tumbled glass distressing, and I want to make it look like the sky. So I just used that one because it is a light blue color, and that way I could use a darker blue for the water. So right now I'm just using that tumbled glass distressing for the sky, and I'm trying to see how much I need to ink up to fill up that embossing folder, because I will be using that Cuttlebug embossing folder on this paper, and that is called Bird Call. So it's the Cuttlebug folder called Bird Call. And although I didn't want the bird to be seen, so I do cut that part off. But there, I finished inking up the paper, and now I'm going to run it through my Cuttlebug, and I do come across a problem that I didn't really think of, and it's, see here, the embossing folder doesn't fill the whole paper, so I do have to run it through twice. But see, I run it through this time, and when I tried to run it through again, there was really no way that I could put it in without folding the paper, because it just would have stuck out. So I just folded the paper on the bottom and did it that way, which again, it didn't really matter because I will end up cutting this paper to use on my card. Now I took out the forest moss distressing, and now I'm using that on top of the emboss sections of my paper, because I want it to I want the blades of grass, I guess, to be green. So I'm just going over it, and I'm doing it lightly so as to not to get the green ink on the back of the paper on the deboss side. But there are some places where the green ink got there, but it's fine and you can't really tell too much. But I tried my best with that, and I just went over it very lightly to try not to get over that blue area of the paper or the deboss side. And there, I pretty much finished it. I'm trying to touch it up a bit, and I do have the older ink blending tool, so it is a little bit harder, but it works out fine. Now, since I already had the forest moss distress ink out, I took advantage of it and used it to ink up my lily pads a little bit, just to give them a little bit more depth. And now I'm going to cut off that extra piece of paper on the bottom. So all that hassle with the paper at the beginning was for no use, because I end up cutting it, as you can see. Now I'm going to ink up the bottom of the paper, and that's going to be the water. And I'm using the Broken China Distress ink, so it's a little bit darker than the tumbled glass. And see, I'm just going to place that embossed paper on top, and I'm using my ATG gun to adhere the top of the paper. and I'm trying to put a lot of it because when you adhere embossed paper, it's kind of hard for it to stick down, so I do try to add a lot of adhesive. Now I'm adding adhesive to the lily pads, and I thought about popping them up but decided against it because I didn't want this to have too much dimension to it. And this probably would have been easier with a Zig two-way pen or Tombow monomulti, but I was lazy and I just used what was next to me, which was my ATG gun. Now I'm taking out my stickers that I wanted to use, and I took out this frog sticker, and that's from the Dollar Tree from last year, and I'm not sure if they still sell those this year. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. But that is from last year from the Dollar Tree, and I placed it here, but you'll see that I'm going to move it a little lower because you can see the embossed blades of grass behind his head since it is a clear sticker, and I tried to fix that by putting a piece of white cardstock behind his head, but it looks strange and you could tell that I had put a piece of white cardstock behind his head. So I just moved him down, and that pretty much fixed it because his eyes are googly, so you can't tell that the embossed portion is behind his eyes. Now, I'm going through my stickers and I'm trying to find the perfect frog sticker to put back there, and I was going to put that one, but since it was a similar sticker to the one I already put, I didn't use it. So I'm going through all of my frog stickers, and I have all my frog stickers together, so it was easy to just grab the whole stack of them and look through them. And a lot of these are either from the Dollar Tree or Walmart that I've gotten over the years. So, and luckily they're in a clear packaging, so it's easy to just put it on top of the card so I can see how it would look if I were to stick them down. So I ended up choosing a sticker from this pack, and this is from the Dollar Tree, and it is 3D, but it's a little bit too much 3D because it has foam tape behind their heads, and it also has foam tape behind their actual bodies. So I took that off, which you'll see in a second. Here, I'm taking off the back of the foam tape, that way it's not double foam mounted. And that was pretty easy to take off. Again, I'm using my ATG gun to add some adhesive behind them. And I just adhered those down. Now I took out a pencil and I'm going to write Happy Valentine's Day. So it's a pun on Happy Valentine's Day, and I just wrote it out because I didn't want to put any stickers or paper on top of it, and I didn't have a sentiment that said that, so I just wrote it out. And I'm writing it with a pencil just in case I mess it up, I can erase it, but it looked fine to me, so I left it like that. And now I took out my Spectrum Noir markers, and you can just do this with any markers. I just used this one because it was next to me, and I just went over the Happy and the day with a blue marker. And I had gone over the Valentines with a pink marker, just so it could stand out a little more. Now I took out these stickers, and these stickers are foiled, so I don't end up using this either. It just was taking away the attention from the frogs. It was too flashy, I guess. So I do take them off, but that's all part of the thought process. I thought they would work, but I didn't like how it was looking. It was looking a little too busy. So I don't end up using any of these stickers, and I put them back. You'll see in a second how I just took those all off. I did not like how they looked. Oh, see, I was still trying to use those stickers, but they just weren't working. They were way too flashy for the card. So here you can see that I took all of those off, and I took out these little Sticko heart stickers. I got those at Walmart recently, and I thought those were perfect. They were a little more muted. They are glittery, but they're a muted color, so they don't take away too much attention from the actual frogs. So I like those, and they were a good size. They were pretty small. So I used those in the background and also in the water, so it will look more like a Valentine's Day theme, because if I don't put any hearts, it could just be a regular frog type card. So I think the hearts made it more Valentine's Day related. Now I want to decorate the inside of the card, and I took out this really old K&Company paper pad that I've had, I think, since 2009. It's called Kazoo, and it's a 12 by 12 paper pad, and I thought this paper was perfect because it had some frogs on it. And this paper pad is Valentine's Day related, so that's why it has the frogs with the little hearts on it. And I love this paper pad. It's too bad that it's long retired because it's a really cute paper. But I just adhered that down, and then I'm using this blue herringbone paper pad, and this is from American Crafts, and it's called With Love. I got that at Target, I think about 2 years ago, but I think it's still being sold. And I'm adhering that as well. And this, I was also thinking about either putting it in the center of the card, but I just put it at the top of the card. So that way I could put a border on the top. So I took out the K&Company Kazoo paper pad again, and in the back it has this large sheet of stickers that has some border stickers, and I liked this heart border, so I thought the colors went perfectly with the card. So I cut it and I just put it at the top of the card, the inside of the card. And now I just cut off the excess. And now I can use this frog sticker, and this is from the Dollar Tree from this year, so it is still being sold. And I just put that little heart, or that frog in the middle, and then I got 2 hearts from the same sticker sheet and adhered it right next to the frog. And that is the end of my card. So it was pretty simple if it weren't for all my thinking about different components of the card. But here's the finished card, and here's the outside of the card, and the inside of the card. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Bye!